Hello, I'm Richard Williams Peters III, victim of government conspiracy, government fraud, and so forth. Defamation, slander, perjury, in every which way. For 39 years, I've laid and waited and waited and waited and waited and waited for justice to be served. And it seems to me that I'm going to have to forcefully force justice in my own way. People like me are not interested in being violent. We're not interested in raping little girls or raping little boys or forcing women to have sex and domestic violent crimes and all this crazy shit. See, the thing is I'm smart enough to know that you have forensic science, you have FBI forensic science, and so forth. You have bodily fluid, DNA, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that kind of tells you that I am highly intelligent, which should inform you that I'm highly intelligent. You can't really commit homicide or a rape without some form of evidential fluid factors in life. Now, for over 39 years, I've had to live my life in solitary confinement of my own home and or wherever I'm at, and have nothing to do with people, period. And the reason why that is because I know for a fact what kind of person I really am. I'm friendly, kind, loving, loyalty, honesty, integrity, and all those characters that are healthy and that are good are absolutely just denied and refused of acceptance. Why that is, don't know. People think they have the right to walk all over me. They think that they have the right to talk down to me, disrespect me, and, call the police on me every time something they don't like. People think that, I'm responsible for how they feel and so forth. Well, I'm not responsible for no one. I'm responsible only for me. Now, if I don't like you, I don't have to talk to you. Those are just facts. People like myself already have been locked up for 14 years since I was a 6-year-old little boy. So I already know how government thinks, and I know how the children welfare services think, and I know what they're going to do before they even do it. See, I've had to lose out on my only child's life because of government conspiracy and government fraud and child sex trafficking, and these are facts. There is no physical evidence of me ever being mildly retarded. There is no physical evidence of me ever doing domestic violent crimes. There is no physical evidence of me ever suffering from mild retardation or being under any criminal activity at all. These are made up things that are made up by law enforcement and by Children and Family Services of California and Kansas. And these are facts. There's no evidence of anything. They come up with their own evidence and come up with their own criminal defamation of my character because I'm a male, and they do not like males with children. They have a war against males, and that's why men like myself end up going to jail, going to prison for things that aren't even being done. Women are overpowering the rights of people such as employment when they're employed at McDonald's or employed at a restaurant. People who work are not the problem. It's the people who come into the work making a problem. In 2014 was my last arrest in Joplin, Missouri, where the cop had illegally detained me for a crime that never took place. I think personally I need to teach this son of a bitch what a crime really is. That's what I think. Because the son of a bitch didn't have the right to arrest me and take me from McDonald's and so forth. And Jeff, who was the manager at the time, needed to protect his worker, not protect the person who's in there making the problem. First of all, the woman didn't have the right to know my name. She didn't have the right to have any knowledge about me at all. My coworkers who basically protected my interest and so forth had to hide me out in the men's bathroom because of the woman. Now, the police officer who arrested me deserves to have his wife killed, and we'll teach him what crime is really about. Because if I assault anyone, it's not going to be a domestic violent assault or physical assault. it's going to be fucking homicide, assault, period. Because I'm not going to go to prison for some petty, stupid shit that some stupid little fat whore walks into McDonald's claiming that she's being assaulted. In what way? Was she physically injured? No, she wasn't physically injured. The cop wrote up fraudulent records. As far as I'm concerned, I should have followed. If I had my car at the time, I would have followed his dumbass home and fucking killed his wife. Right in fucking stupid front of him, and then decapitate his dumbass. Joplin police officer did not have the right to arrest me the night that I was arrested. I was instructed by my manager to contact the police and make a police report on the woman because she kept coming in and robbing McDonald's of free food replacement. And she kept insisting that we don't make our food correctly, so she basically minimizes and manipulates for us to give her free food. At the time that I assisted her, because she was doing sign language and perpetrating that she can't talk and she's deaf and all that crazy shit. The bitch was a player, and she was doing a crime, and that crime was absolutely fucking ignored. One thing I hate the most is when a cop ignores an actual crime taking place, or so forth. The police officer who arrested me, I should have had a backpack bomb in there, and I should have detonated that bitch. That's what should have happened, because police need to stop arresting men without real evidence, because they're really pissing a lot of us off, and this is how I feel, and that's my opinion. If you don't like it, make some changes in your shit. I don't go around hitting women, I don't go around battering women, I don't go around doing shit. All I do is do my job the way I'm supposed to. People think they have the right to do whatever they're doing and walk all over me. And any cop who arrests me deserves to be killed, period. Because there was nothing to arrest me for. I did my job. I was trying to report the woman coming in there harassing the coworkers who worked there, who kept coming through the drive-thru, ordering her meal, parking in the parking lot, and then eating her meal, and then come back inside and say we didn't make her food correctly, which is incorrect. We cooked that food perfectly. Since then, I've actually left Joplin, Missouri. But this is part one. Government fraud and conspiracy against Mr. Richard Williams Peters III in Kansas and in California and Joplin, Missouri. I'm an outstanding citizen who obeys the laws and obeys the way it's written. On December 8th of 1995, after being discharged from Parsons State Hospital and Training Center, I actually had left Joplin, Missouri, and moved to Wichita, Kansas. My first job was Carlos O'Kelly's, and I worked there for quite a few months. Even though it was low pay, I didn't really like it. I always felt that I deserved more than what's actually given. Now, I used to live over here at 1422 South Woodchuck of Wichita, Kansas, with Tim and Sue Colley, who apparently believed what Jerry Ray forced me to tell them, that I was actually having fantasies of their 12-year-old adopted daughter, Samantha Colley, which that wasn't really true at all. Jerry Ray forced me to confess to things that were not really there, which is kind of sad, because Jerry Ray needs to also be killed, and his wife needs to be killed for doing that, and that's the punishment. Justice needs to be served. I'm not an evil man or anything like that. I've always followed the laws the way they're written and obeyed the laws. In fact, I already suffer natural paranoia, period. I'm always paranoid before doing anything. People like Elena Lucilla Burnell, who was doing all those assault and batteries in 2003 all the way to 2008, stalking, harassing. Nobody wanted to do a damn thing. So people who don't want to help me and assist me, they all deserve to be killed, in my opinion. They're just as equal terrorists as a police officer. There's no reason, for them to be obstructing justice and to be denying me of justice and denying me any rights. I obey the law the way the fuck it's written, and I will express my anger, I will express my opinion on what should be done, which will never be done, the way I want to, and people will fucking deal with it. Now, social workers had kidnapped Yvonne Francesca Peters and illegally removed her from her home in 2004 of October 18th. Nanette Dupree should have been killed right on the spot for trespassing and illegally invading my space. I was at Denny's eating lunch that day. This is part one.